Hey guys, welcome to Soma Vedic Astrology channel. Today we will look at the story of the tragic life of Shravan Kumar, and in the second half we will understand the themes of Shravan Nakshatra based on this story. Once upon a time, there was a couple, Gyanvati and Shantanu. It is stated that Gyanvati, who belonged to a Shudra caste or a service caste, and Shantanu, who belonged to Vaishya or a merchant class, they both had an illicit relationship and committed adultery by cheating on their respective spouses. Along with that, the relationship between people of two different castes were frowned upon at that time, and thus, as a punishment, King Acha, who was the grandfather of Prince Ram, exiled both of them outside the kingdom, and as a punishment, they both were also blinded. The young blind couple had it tough to live in the forest in exile with no support from the community as they were outcasted from the society they were living in. While living in the forest, both of them slowly came closer to God and became hermits. Gyanvati longed for a child of her own, but they had trouble to beget a child. They did severe penance to obtain a child. Eventually, Gyanvati conceived Shravan Kumar at a very older age and hence couldn't conceive any more kids, and he was the only single child of the parents. Shravan Kumar was considered casteless as he was born to parents from different caste. Shravan Kumar, along with his parents, lived in a hut in the outskirts in a humble village outcasted from the society. Both the parents were blind, poor, old. Because of blindness, they could not get a high paying income source as blindness became a blocker to do normal day to day activities. However, they left no stone unturned to impart religious learnings as well as good values to their child despite the physical impediment. Shravan Kumar grew up to be honest young boy with a very strong character. Since both the parents were old and blind, Shravan Kumar used to do all the chores of the home. He was a caregiver to his dependent parents as well as did work for supporting himself and the dependent old blind parents financially. He had to take on a lot of responsibilities right since young age. Shravan Kumar was an obedient and a devoted son. He worked hard and looked after the well being of his parents with no complaints whatsoever. Shravan's parents now were more older and getting older, and they had the last wish to visit Char Dham, which means four most sacred places of the Hindu pilgrimage, to gain spiritual enlightenment and to purify the soul before leaving the mortal world. Shravan Kumar decided to fulfill his parents' last wish, but he did not have much resources to fulfill the wish of his parents. Neither he had a means of transport nor enough money to carry out such a long journey and pilgrimage to four sacred places and to support the expenses of three people on the entire journey. It was not even possible to walk for such long distance as both the parents were old and blind, but that does not demotivate Shravan Kumar to fulfill the last wish of his parents. Shravan Kumar gathers some resources such as rope, baskets, wooden rods, and builds a carriage to carry blind parents with each parent sitting on each side of the carriage, and in this way he begins the pilgrimage journey. While on the pilgrimage, Shravan Kumar had to go through tough terrains, dense forests, complete unknown locations for this journey to be completed. When passing through a dense forest by carrying the load of two parents, Shravan Kumar accidentally disturbed the penance of Rishi Vishwamitra. Rishi Vishwamitra got angry and confronted Shravan Kumar, but upon realizing the background and what Shravan Kumar is doing, about his sacrifices, about his selflessness, the Rishi got impressed by the dedication of the young boy and blessed him with good wishes and predicted a tragic prophecy to him about his future. Shravan Kumar continued his journey by walking on rugged terrains. As and when the parents felt hungry, Shravan Kumar used to stop to fetch fruits, edible products from the forest, and thereby quenching the hunger. The parents never accepted food from anyone else or from strangers during the pilgrimage and just ate whatever the son could bring to them. While the meals might not seem wholesome, Shravan Kumar did everything possible in his capacity to make the journey as smooth as possible for his parents. Shravan Kumar walked tirelessly, carrying heavy weights of two adult person on his shoulders to fulfill their long standing dream of pilgrimage to four sacred places. He made everything possible so that the journey for their parents would be smooth, even if it came at the cost of a difficult time for himself. They visited few sacred places and eventually reached the dense forest of Ayodhya. It was night time, all were tired, and hence they decided to halt midway under the shade of a tree and decided to take rest. The parents were also thirsty, so the parents asked Shravan Kumar to bring some water to quench their thirst. Shravan Kumar took the earthen vessel and went near the banks of Sarayu river to fetch the water. Meanwhile, young Prince Dashrath was in the same forest as the three of them. He came to the forest for the purpose of thrill, adventure, by hunting deer and other wild animals in the forest and to practice his archery skills. Young Prince Dashrath was talented and had a specialized skill called Shabda Bedi Bhan, which means the ability to hunt based on the sound from which the direction is coming rather than using eyesight to hunt the animal. He was specialized in the process of hunting. Shravan Kumar reached the banks of river Sarayu and started dipping the earthen vessel in the river to collect the water. The young prince heard the ripples of the water and assumed the sound was due to a deer drinking water from the river and threw and shot an arrow. The arrow pierced the chest of the young boy Shravan Kumar. He fell to the ground and was in excruciating pain. Prince Dashrath immediately reached to the spot and realized that he had shot a young boy instead of a deer. Shravan Kumar was bleeding non-stop and there was not much time left in his hand to be alive. Prince Dashrath asked the boy about his identity and what he was doing in this dense forest in the night time. Shravan Kumar mentioned that he just came to fetch a vessel of water for his blind old parents. Shravan Kumar requested Prince Dashrath to fetch the water and to give it to his thirsty parents and also to inform that their child is no longer alive. Prince Dashrath realized the gravity of his mistake. He was sad, embarrassed, guilty of his wrongful actions. As per Shravan Kumar's last death wish, he took the water vessel and gave it to the old blind parents of Shravan Kumar. While the parents were blind, but they realized that the man is not Shravan Kumar and hence they denied to take water from a complete stranger. The old parents asked the stranger about his identity. The stranger, as in Prince Dashrath, revealed his identity of being the prince of the Kosala kingdom, whose capital was Ayodhya, where they all were present at that moment. The old parents asked, "Where is their son, Prince?" And Prince Dashrath then narrated the tragic events that had unfolded. The blind old parents were shocked to listen that their son is no longer alive and requested the prince to take them near the body of their son. The grief stricken parents cried uncontrollably. Since the blind parents cannot give proper death rituals to their son, Prince Dashrath arranged the funeral pyre and performed the last rites of Shravan Kumar. The old blind parents were grief stricken. There was no hope left for them to be alive anymore. They would not be able to live with their condition of being blind, being old, being poor, and Shravan Kumar being no longer alive. Shravan Kumar was their only hope, and the hope was taken away. They cursed Prince Dashrath. They mentioned that since you are the cause of the death of our son, and now even we cannot live on earth with such pain and grief, there will come one day that your son would be the cause of your death, and you will die in desperation for the longing of your son. After cursing the prince, they both jumped into the funeral pyre and ended their lives. Shravan Kumar got a place in heaven for his selfless service towards his parents. Now, fast forward a little in future. Their curse came true, and King Dashrath died of the shock of the news that his son Prince Ram was sent out in exile for 14 years in the forest. He could not bear the separation from his son. None of his four sons were there near the deathbed at the time of his death. The location where Prince Dashrath shot the arrow is named as Sarvara. The location where Shravan Kumar's parents died is called Samadha. The location where Shravan Kumar died is named as Shravan in Unnao district in Uttar Pradesh. This story might seem very insignificant, but if this story would not have unfolded, then King Dashrath would never have been separated from his son Prince Ram, and the entire events of Ramayana would have never unfolded. Apart from this, some texts mention that Shravan Kumar was a bachelor or an unmarried guy, while some texts mention that he had a wife named Chitra and a son, but his wife and his parents did not share a cordial bond, and he left and abandoned his wife and son to fulfill the last wish of parents of the holy pilgrimage. Now let us see some major themes linked to this story. The parents of the Shravan Kumar were exiled by the king due to adultery and or intercaste relationship, due to which their public reputation as well as financial status took a major hit, and due to which Shravan Kumar had to do work of three people to keep the family afloat. Afflictions to this nakshatra can show punishment or deception from a superior boss, government, kings, leading to an intense period of struggle in one's life and getting outcasted from the society one lives in. Afflictions to this nakshatra also shows decline in one's reputation or listening bad things about oneself and one's family or lineage from the people of the society one lives in. But the period of struggle actually turns out to be a boon, because that is when the person would become more spiritual, religious, and would come closer to God and would understand the true essence of life. Themes of intercaste marriage can also be linked as Jupiter, the planet of following rules, regulations, and laws, debilitates or weakens in Capricorn Zodiac sign. Hence, the person does not follow the traditional rules and regulations and laws of marrying someone into a similar caste or whatever the traditional rules were, depending on which culture you are part of. Instead, the person makes his or her own independent choices and decisions based on his thinking at that moment of time, rather than following the traditional rules. Shravana Nakshatra caste is stated to be a Malicha caste, which means outcast, and we can even see that in the story that Shravan Kumar and his family gets outcasted from the society they were living in. Shravan Kumar was born to an older set of parents that too after their parents did a lot of penance. So if fifth lord of kids or Jupiter is connected to Shravana Nakshatra, and if it is afflicted, then there can be struggle in having kids, delay in having a child, or less number of children based on Deshkal Patra. Having kids at an age which might be considered old depending on the location where you are living, or themes of losing a child in his young age. Shravan Kumar was known for unwavering duty towards his parents. He could have abandoned them and could have gone to his own route, doing his own thing, leaving the blind parents aside. But he did not do so. Instead, he stayed back with his parents and sacrificed his life, his career aspirations for the service of the dependent, blind, old, poor parents. He never thought of his own future, but was rather selfless, putting the well being of his parents as his first priority. Shravan Nakshatra lies in the Capricorn zodiac sign. Capricorn is the sign of hard work and doing duty without thinking of what one gets in return. And Shravan Kumar had to do the duty assigned by his fate. Themes of serving parents, serving old people, serving blind people, serving helpless or people who are dependent is a major theme of Shravana Nakshatra. Themes of managing a small team at workplace if Shravana is connected to 10th house can also be seen. Themes of being too much into one's work or career can be seen as Capricorn is itself the sign of intense labor, hard work, career, and doing one's own duty. Shravan Kumar was considered casteless as he was born from a Shudra mother and a Vaishya father. That means that Shravan Kumar was not much respected at the time due to the society in which they were living in, not because Shravan Kumar did something wrong or that he did some crime, but because of his lineage, which was not considered good and pure at that time. Now, definitely the times right now has changed, but the gist here is that the person does not get respected earlier portion of his life due to either due to lineage or due to some peculiarity depending on how the placement is in one's natal chart, or due to the society being backward and at that time, and the society taking some time to be open minded. But later, the same person becomes famous worldwide due to his selflessness nature, unwavering loyalty, and dedication towards his parents, which means becomes famous due to his ability of doing hard work and due to being good in one's work area, depending on where this combination is taking place in one's chart. Shravan Kumar is portrayed to have a very strong character, honest, loyal, dedicated, devoted, to such an extent that every parent in India wishes to have a son like Shravan Kumar. The Gana of Shravana Nakshatra is Devgan, which is known for righteous actions and to be a god-like person. So, unafflicted planet sitting in this nakshatra would give a very strong character linked to the significations connected to that planet. Shravan Kumar had a very humble beginning, and not once he complained that he does not live in a mansion, or that he could not drive a luxury car, or that he does not have a lifestyle that his friends have, etc. etc. He was quite mature even after being a young boy and knew his reality well and was responsible enough to accept his circumstances and hence taking care of the old blind parents. So, themes of experiencing phases of poverty due to some unlucky situation, especially some unlucky situation happening in one's parents' life, can be linked to this nakshatra. Jupiter, planet of luck and fortune, debilitates in the Capricorn zodiac sign. Hence, the person has to see struggles quite early on in his life. And if there is a Neech Bhang Raj Yog, then slowly things start to improve in the person's life. Shravan Kumar had to take care of the dependents who are old and blind and who cannot take care of themselves. Blindness also signifies affliction to the Taurus zodiac sign, which means affliction to the natural second house of the Kalpurush Kundli, which represents one's self worth, wealth, assets of that person. Now, Shravan Kumar is a young boy which not once thought, who did not once thought what he wants in his own life or about his dreams. Rather, he made it a point to fulfill someone else's wishes and dreams. In the story, it is parents, but we can see who the person is depending on how the planet is placed in the natal chart. He put all efforts to fulfill the last wishes of his parents. Shravan Kumar took actions to turn dream of his parents into reality even if it seemed impossible. It was the pilgrimage where tragedy unfolds. Afflictions to this pada, generally one is unable to complete the pilgrimage that one embarks upon and loses life during the period of pilgrimage. You guys must have seen such events happening even in real life where people go to pilgrimage but then some tragedy unfolds in the middle of it and they are not able to complete the pilgrimage and loses life in between. afflictions to this pada also shows that one needs to be cautious of accidents while undertaking a pilgrimage or journey. Shravan Kumar also did not have enough resources to afford such a pilgrimage. So, themes of embarking on an unaffordable journey, traveling to foreign countries, can be seen as a theme linked to this nakshatra. But this journey, pilgrimage, or travel to a foreign country or a foreign place or an unknown place is not as smooth journey, but much tougher compared to staying in his base location. Lifestyle during the pilgrimage was very tough. No proper sleeping facility during the night, surviving on fruits or bare minimum food, walking on difficult terrains for long distances, but still continuing the journey even if it seems tough. This signifies that this dasha period will be quite tough, and one would have to develop a strong mind to go through this phase. Shravan Nakshatra is a chara or a movable nakshatra. Hence, an event of a movement or travel can be linked to it. If connected to fourth lord of real estate, then shifting of homes during this time period can be seen. If connected to 10th lord of workplace, then shifting one's workplace or office can be seen. Themes of traveling for a new place of work can be there. Themes of working but for other people's comforts and for the comforts of the dependents at the cost of one's own comforts can be linked to this nakshatra. Possibility of themes of death at workplace or death while working, if connected to the 10th lord of career, can be seen. Themes of being a wanderer, saint, ascetic, roaming everywhere can be linked to this nakshatra if Ketu, ninth lord, gets linked to this nakshatra. Now, while Shravan Kumar did not have an opportunity to live a very long life, but how much ever time he was on earth, he built a legacy of his name, that too unknowingly. His journey began from being a outcasted boy with people looking down upon him to being a celebrated son, to such an extent that everyone in India wishes to have a son like him. Can we imagine building a reputation and legacy to such an extent that every parent wishes to have quality and traits of Shravan Kumar in his or her child? The boy was completely able to overhaul his social image and reputation, but that was not even his agenda of life. It happened naturally due to his qualities and not because he was seeking for it. Prince Dashrath is said to have a specialized skill which is linked to hearing and listening, where he is able to strike the target just by listening instead of seeing the target. The tragedy of death happened due to an impulsive action at the hands of Prince Dashrath. That too due to an illusion of the animal deer. We can relate this to Mrigashira Nakshatra. Planet sitting in the Mrigashira Nakshatra is restless, thrill seeking, and due to this adventure seeking nature, one might take some hasty decision which they might regret later on. One needs to control the impulsive action. Shravan Kumar, despite being the perfect dutiful son, got killed accidentally without any of his fault. It just kind of portrays the presence of a person in the wrong place at the wrong time. Kind of unlucky or unfortunate event. Jupiter, the planet of luck and fortune, gets debilitated in the Capricorn zodiac sign. Hence, a factor of luck gets weakened in the Capricorn zodiac sign, and we can see the same situation unfolding even in the story, where death is due to an accident or due to an unlucky situation, being at the wrong place at the wrong time without any saving grace. Themes of downfall or losses due to hasty actions of a superior boss or authority, person, or government can be linked to this nakshatra. Themes of being a victim at the hands of a silly decision of a boss or an authority person or a superior or a powerful person can be seen. Shravan Kumar had the chance of meeting great sage Vishwamitra quite early on, and even got to know of the future events and predictions way before in advance. He already knew what was going to happen. Not that knowing future event is going to change the event, but themes of listening to prophecy could be linked to Shravana Nakshatra. It can also be seen that the curse of the blind parents eventually came true. So, if second lord of speech is connected to Shravana Nakshatra, then be mindful of what you speak, or if you curse someone, as most probably it might come true, as we saw in the story. Shravan Kumar was smart enough to make a carriage with little resources that he had. He was resourceful and smart. Shravana Nakshatra is part of the Capricorn Zodiac sign, where people has to start something from scratch. Depending on where this combination takes place, person has to start things from scratch with very little support, very little money, resources from other people. Shravana Nakshatra is the nakshatra of hard work, putting in efforts and getting a slow and steady progress in the areas depending on which planet and house gets connected to this nakshatra. Um, Rather than relying on the luck factor. So for Shravana Nakshatra, one's hard work is one's true luck. It is almost like a one-man army fighting major life battles, and not only for himself but also for his dependents without much external support. Themes of building cars, vehicles, engineering, manufacturing products from scratch can also be linked to this nakshatra. Themes of going for a drive, love for vehicles can also be a theme. Shravan Kumar was taking care of the dependents, then he was working, he was providing or giving care. So he was almost doing work of 3 to 4 people single handedly. It is a very, very tough life if you see it realistically, doing a lot of work with very less breathing space or breaks. Capricorn nakshatras have to shoulder lot of burden and responsibilities. It is a star of intense hard work and putting in efforts day in and day out. Due to an early unfortunate circumstances in their life, they get mature quite early in their life. They become wise, and they take the duties quite early on in their life, while other kids of their age would be having fun, they would be playing outside. These would be the kids who are taking responsibilities instead of playing outside in the ground. Shravan Kumar was pierced by an arrow, which means kind of had to encounter an accident at a location which was close to a river, lake, or a water body. So, if the fourth lord of home or sixth lord of accidents is connected to Shravana Nakshatra, then be careful around the areas close to river, lake, or water body. Now, as we discussed in some texts, Shravan Kumar was considered a bachelor or an unmarried man. In other texts, it is stated that he was married but abandoned the wife or parents, and wife did not share the cordial relationship with the parents. So, any of such themes might encounter if afflicted seventh lord of marriage is connected to Shravana Nakshatra. Shravana Nakshatra is a great nakshatra for career, work, for name and fame, due to one's strong character, for building a legacy, for building a reputation. But Shravana Nakshatra is generally not considered that great for marriage. Other name of Shravan Kumar was also stated to be Yajna Datta, which means a man or a person who performs a sacrifice. So it kind of shows a life of sacrifice of one's own wishes and desires, to either to bring a family out of poverty if connected to fourth lord, or to fulfill the wishes and the desires of someone else. Now, who is that person? That depends on what planet is connected to this nakshatra. I hope you guys liked that video. It takes immense efforts to put out such videos. Please do like the video and subscribe the channel. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.